Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for blocking the bill, saying he's only interested in keeping his Senate seat.
Chuck Schumer voted for the identical measure in March of this year and gave an impassioned speech on the floor about how it had to be done because it would be totally irresponsible to harm the American people by shutting the government down. The only thing that's changed between March, 7 months ago, and now is that Chuck Schumer is now afraid of the rise of Marxism in New York.
Meanwhile, a conservative columnist does not believe the Republicans should give an inch right now in the ongoing battle to reopen the government.
In an interview, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said that the Democrat-led government shutdown could end this week. His assessment was far more optimistic than others who predict this thing could drag on into November. Republicans want to pass a short-term resolution to resume funding at current levels. Democrats demand that any stopgap bill includes funding health care for illegal aliens and refunding the liberal-biased National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting Service. Robert Knott is a columnist for The Washington Times.
If I were a Republican strategist, I wouldn't give an inch right now because it might appear that those No Kings rallies around the country, with all their obscene signs and everything else, had this huge effect on policy. I would let it simmer for a while. And right now, the Democrats are being blamed for it, rightly, because the Republicans have passed a bill to keep the government going several times.
Knight says the pressure is clearly building
on Congress to cut deals because states are saying the food stamps are going to run out in November, and some corporations have laid off federal contractors. So it's becoming a dicier and dicier game for both parties. It'll be very interesting to see who blinks first.
I'm Chad, groaning.
Socialist Zoran Mamdani still has a commanding lead in the race for New York City mayor. The candidate in third place, Curtis Sliwa, is being pressured to drop out so that more votes will go to the number 2 candidate in the polls, Andrew Cuomo. New York City Rabbi Elliot Cosgrove says Mamdani is dangerous.
I believe Zoran Mamdani poses a danger to the security of the New York Jewish community. Mamdani's refusal to condemn insightful slogans like globalize the Intifada, his denial of Israel's legitimacy as a Jewish state, his call to arrest Israel's prime minister should he enter New York, and his thrice repeated accusation of genocide in Thursday's debate, for these and so many other statements, past, present, and unrepentant, he is a danger to the Jewish body politic of New York City.
An appeals court on Monday put on hold a lower court ruling that kept President Donald Trump from taking command of 200 Oregon National Guard troops. However, Trump is still barred from actually deploying those troops, at least for now. More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Pugh.
AFA Action takes attacks on the family seriously. The enemies of the family constantly employ new tactics to try to sneak past our radar. They know if we stand together, their evil plans will fail. Your gift to AFA Action allows us to stay vigilant against their onslaught. And if you give this month, you'll receive access to the Cultural Institute video When Your Faith is Illegal by Frank Harbor on AFA Stream as our thanks. You can make your gift today at afaaction.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR on this Tuesday, October the 21st, 2025. I'm Tim Wildman. Joining me in studio is Ed Patagliano. Good morning, Brother Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
And Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
Your brother, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am.
We're all brothers here.
We're all
and
family.
Our brother Ray is in, Ray Pritchard's in Kansas City. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Tim. How are you today?
It's good. We're getting a little rain here at our studios right now. It's going to pass, but fall is in the air, and fall's already arrived in Kansas City, right?
It was 44 degrees here a couple hours ago. It's up to a balmy 52 degrees today.
Balmy.
Are the leaves changing color there?
Yeah, Yep. But basically, we've had a lot of hot weather in September and October, but I think that's gone now. I think fall has arrived here in Kansas.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is in Mississippi, where our flagship station is for the network, I never say fall weather is finally here because it's liable to turn hot and you're liable to be wearing shorts at Christmas time.
But, the thing that we, many of us have to not look forward to is winter.
Yes.
Because winter will be here before you know it.
That's right.
My attitude will change, and Ray will go to Florida now.
That's exactly right.
Where the Lord will lead him.
That's what the Lord has led us to Florida.
For the winter, right?
For the winter, right?
All
Take
his
the exit
Bible
on
conferences.
I-22 and pick me up, Ray.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll stop, pick you up, Chris, and we'll head
Whoever
down.
wants to go, right?
No,
That's
you
right.
did. You and Marlene did make a decision a few months ago. I mean, you shared it on the radio about you're going to be snowbirds now, right?
That's right. In fact, starting in 2 weeks, early November, I'll be doing this program from our park model at Word of Life Palm Grove in Hudson, Florida.
Oh, so you're going to be living there during the winter months.
During the winter,
I thought
right.
He's wimping out.
I thought we were
That's
just
right.
talking about where he's going to do his Bible teaching at the conference.
I've had enough snow.
Right.
I've had enough bad weather.
Listen, Brother Ray, an Alabama boy, has paid his cold weather dues.
Yes,
I feel like it.
Well,
Yes,
up in
sir.
Chicago.
That's
for
what I'm
years.
saying. How many years did you spend in?
Almost 17 frigid years.
And this is back before global warming.
That's
Yes.
way
I mean,
before,
this
back
is-
when it was really
Yeah.
global, a lot of global cooling.
Global cooling
The
going
first time I ever saw snow at Christmas time was in the late 90s. My mom grew up in Zion, Illinois, which is north of Chicago, and my aunt still lived there at the time. And we went up there to visit my aunt, and it was the first time on Christmas I had ever seen snow falling.
There's something north of Chicago other than Milwaukee.
Yes, yeah. If you hit Kenosha, Wisconsin, you've gone just a bit too far, and you
Okay.
missed Zion.
Oh, so there's Zion. So you can go to Zion here in the United States.
You
just
sure
gotta
can.
Go to Illinois and pass through Chicago. Hope
I
you're not
just wanna make
carjacked. And
Yeah,
Right,
go
maybe
through
make
all those tolls.
anyway, well, all right. You got a couple more weeks there in Kansas City, and then on to is that around Tampa, Clearwater area? Where you go?
Just north of Tampa, about
Okay.
25 minutes north of the Tampa airport.
I got you. All right. Well, give us a good word from the Bible, Ray, this morning, if you would, brother.
So Marlene and I have been doing our Bible listening, and today we were cruising through Psalm 37, which everybody knows, Psalm 38 and Psalm 39. And it's always interesting, Tim, to listen to, Psalm 37, heard it many, many times, sermons and Bible studies and stuff, but Psalm 38, David's in trouble. As you know, in a lot of the Psalms, David's in trouble. He's got enemies. They're howling wolves. They're wild animals. My enemies are all around me. And this is what it says. I don't think I'd ever, how you can, Ed, how you can read something 5 times, and then the 6th time you go, I never saw that before.
Yep.
I had one of those moments. I never saw this before. And David here is talking about his enemies. My neighbors stand at a distance. Those who pursue my life set traps. Those who seek to harm me, they talk about my ruin. All day long they plot deception. And this is good now. This is what David said. I am deaf. I cannot hear. Like a mute person, I cannot open my mouth. I am like a man who cannot hear. No response comes from his mouth. And then the next verse says, yet I wait for you, Lord. You will answer, O Lord my God. Can I just say something? Sometimes we can't get better because we just won't stop talking. Sometimes we just can't get better when trouble comes because we got to talk about it, and we got to talk about it. And somebody says something about us we don't like, and that happens all the time. Somebody hurts our feelings, and that happens almost every day. Somebody gives us a bad glance, and it ruins everything. It's interesting to me. David's response here it's really threefold. He says, number 1, I'm not going to listen. Number 2, I'm not going to speak. And number 3, I'm going to wait on the Lord. One story, years ago, I knew a man, a Christian leader, whose wife was a pretty well-known author. she was a well-recognized Christian author, and she had been badly attacked publicly, repeatedly. And this is probably almost 30 years ago. Just her name had been dragged through the mud. And I wasn't close enough situation to make a judgment on what people were saying.
Yeah.
But I happened to see the husband. I said, how's your wife holding up? He said something interesting. He said, my wife has taken a vow of silence. She will not speak to her critics, but also she will not speak of her critics. She won't speak to them because they just want to argue, and she won't speak about them because it only hurts her own soul. I think that's exactly the spirit of what David is saying here. There are times when we just need to stop talking. We need to stop complaining and just sit still and wait on the Lord. And David says, you will answer, oh my God. So my friends, maybe there's one person out there who needs to hear this today. Let's not say everything that comes into our mind. Let's hold some things back. And above all, let's wait on the Lord. And when we do, in God's time, in just the right way, he will answer and he will deliver us.
Did you just come up with that just off the cuff, or just?
He got it from my article.
Okay, now that was outstanding.
Yes,
because
give me credit.
Okay, Tim, thank you so much.
That was a great article, Tim. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, but you were word for word, Ray. Word
I know,
for word.
just literally word. I didn't
for
even
word.
mention your name.
No, I'm kidding, folks. I didn't write anything like that. That was a great word from the Bible that Brother Ray shared with us. And, yeah, there are times.
Well, I mean, those things, when people say things about you, it hurts. And if you keep talking about it, or you keep playing things over in your mind, you're simply getting that hurt over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of continues that kind of cycle of hurt, anger, bitterness. And, wow, that's just a powerful word, Ray. Excellent.
You know, hey, but let's bring our friend Dr. Frank Turek in here. Frank's with us now. He's the author of I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, and the radio show by the same name, heard Saturdays at 9 o'clock Central Time, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Time on American Family Radio. And we replay that show on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. Central Time. Good morning, Frank.
Howdy, folks. How is everyone?
Did you hear what Brother Ray was sharing?
I did, yeah. Brother Ray has learned much from you, Tim.
Yeah, well,
that was a great article.
I sound like I'm looking for credit.
No,
I'm really trying to be humble here.
Well, Tim,
yes,
I think people should read your new book, 10 Steps to Humility and How I Made It in 7.
How I Made It in 7.
Which is very humble of you, Tim, because you told me you actually made it in 6.
Yes.
That was a good one. I got to remember that one.
Well, he got that from
you. Okay.
That was my article.
Your article?
Word.
Okay.
Actually got it from Ed.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Hey, Frank, I noticed where the buzz around where we are, we're, of course, in Tupelo, Mississippi, but Ole Miss is an hour away in Oxford, and a week from tomorrow, Vice President J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, will be on the campus there.
Good.
And they're going to be speaking at the, I think the basketball arena, the pavilion that they call it at Ole Miss. So that tells me they're expecting thousands and thousands of people. Are you coming over for that? Or do you?
I'm not going to be at that one. I'm going to be, where am I going to be?
You're
Thursday night at University of Georgia with a TPUSA event, and then I'll be at University of Alabama on the 13th of November. Before that, I'll be at Berkeley, UC Berkeley, on November 10th with a TPUSA event.
Now, you and some other friends of Charlie are doing some of the events that he would have been. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thankfully, Erica said this show's going to go on, and it should. Obviously, we're not going to let evil derail good.
Right.
So we're going to all these universities, continuing that. And we're bringing friends. I'm going to be actually at Berkeley. I'm going to be with Rob Schneider. I was supposed to be with Charlie, obviously.
The actor. And
the
comedian.
Saturday Night Live actor that actually wrote a book on free speech.
Mm-hmm. So when is that? When is that event?
That's going to be November 10th.
When are you going to be at Alabama, and you're going to be at the University of Georgia, Athens?
University of Georgia, Athens, this Thursday, 7 p.m. Details on the website. Then we have Ohio State on November 3rd. Then we have Berkeley on November 10th. And then we have University of Alabama November 13th.
So Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, you're trying to hit the top 5 in college football.
That's right.
Right.
Then
Okay.
Boise State, which they're not.
They've fallen
top
off.
5, but
yeah.
that's going to be November 20th.
Boise State. Anyway, in all seriousness, where can people read about the events and where they're?
If they go to crossexamined.org, click on calendar or events. I think it probably says events.
It says
You'll
events.
see it there. Yeah.
Hey, are you worried at all about security speaking at these places?
Well, since Charlie, we've had to hire private security, not just for my safety, but for the safety of the audience. So, unfortunately, it used to cost us like about $5,000 to go to a campus, with the airfare, the hotels, the transportation, paying the guy that does all the video for us. Now it's $15,000.
Oh, wow.
So every college we go, it's an extra $15,000. So I'm letting all our donors know, if you want to, because we don't charge students anything, it's free. So if you want to help us, just go to crossexamined.org, click on donate. You'll see it there.
You looking at Frank's website right now?
I am, crossexamined.org. And if you go to events, there's a drop-down menu, and you just click on Cross-Examine Calendar. And it has it has Frank's events coming up, as well as when he appears, for example. He has today's issues listed here for today. So wherever he's going to be speaking, he's got conferences coming up. You can check that out at crossexamined.org.
I have it's not so much a question, but just something I would like to say. I appreciate Frank for going to places like Berkeley, because a lot of people, they hear things about Berkeley or California in general, maybe Illinois, New York City, things like that, and they roll their eyes and, just let them all leave the U.S. and stuff like that. But I appreciate the fact that Frank goes to places like Berkeley, because people and Christians need somebody like Frank to go to them and to speak to them and to let them know they're not the only person.
Because they are
alive.
there.
Yes. We shouldn't forget the people. There are God-fearing Christians in California.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's 7.
I know this is going to be hard to believe, but there's more Christians in California than any other state.
Oh, there are more people, too.
Yeah, because there's like 39 million people there. So
Yeah. Listen, Frank's been going to college campuses long before Charlie Kirk did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie learned a lot and wanted Frank to help him with debating and things of that nature, and also the defense of the Christian belief system and the resurrection and so forth. Frank shared about that last time. So anything, what do you got coming up on, what are you doing with your program now that your world's been changed here?
Well, I just spent 2 weeks. We were in Israel, Jordan, and Egypt. I just got back. So this weekend we're going to have Robert Furrow on. He's a pastor in Tucson. That we did an event with Charlie there last year, and he's about to do an event tonight out in Tucson. We're going to talk about that this weekend on the American Family Radio Network. What can we do now? Hearts are tender now. People are open to Christianity. Now's the time to move. Now's the time to go out and talk to people and to bring them into the church, bring them into Christianity. And so we're going to talk about how to do that this weekend.
So how long were you in Israel and Egypt?
It was a 2-week trip. It was scheduled before Charlie was murdered, so I couldn't back out because people would have lost a lot of money.
Right. Ray, do you have any questions for Frank?
I have one when he's done.
Okay. Well, we'll go Ray and then Ed.
Okay.
How about that? Ray, can you hear me?
Yeah. Frank, you just said that hearts are tender. Talk about that. I'm hearing this from a lot of people around the country. Honestly, I'm seeing it as I'm traveling around doing my speaking conferences. Things have changed. Hard to put your finger on it, but it feels like the spiritual temperature, the openness of, particularly among young people, has changed since Charlie's murder and what has happened afterwards. Talk about that a little bit deeper. What's going on in the hearts of American young people.
And that was my question as well. So this is a two
well, that's
for
because Ray
one.
read your article, Ed.
Yes,
That's right.
that's right.
That's a great article, too.
Whatever that article was.
Yeah.
No, we did 4 events right after Charlie's murder at college and high school campuses, and I think that the tone has shifted from skepticism to how do I bring my non-Christian friends to Christ? So they're more evangelistic questions now. So that's a good sign. Bible sales are up. Church attendance is up. I'm getting emails. I know TPUSA is getting a lot more about people becoming Christians because of what happened to Charlie and his example. It turns out, contrary to popular opinion, politics is an on-ramp to Christianity, not an off-ramp to Christianity. In other words, when people get engaged politically, and they're already, say, conservatives, but they're not Christians, eventually they're going to want to follow the stream of justice back to its source, and that source is, of course, Jesus. That source is God himself. And when people out there who are conservative or even moderate see someone like Charlie standing up and then he's murdered for his beliefs, that's inspiring to people, that people will go, wow, this guy put it all on the line and he wasn't afraid to interact with people. Maybe there's more to this. In fact, Charlie told me this like a month before he died, that he got a call from a billionaire who said, who's an atheist, who said, wow, you're the smartest Christian I know. Maybe I need to look into Christianity.
Wow.
Because, look, in the public square, the political conversation is much bigger than the spiritual conversation, right? In the sense that it's on the news all the time. In fact, the only time the media covers Christianity is when there's a vote or when some high-profile Christian falls. That's the only time they cover Christianity. You know, they're not covering all the great works that pastors and church members are doing, you know, continually. Right. They only cover when something goes wrong. But the political conversation's always going on. So if you're a high-profile Christian in the political conversation, you're standing for Jesus like Charlie did, that's going to bring a lot of people into the kingdom.
Amen.
Well, and it seems like, Frank, that it's becoming clearer and clearer to people, even people who are just on the periphery of politics and culture. They're just living their lives maybe on either side. But it's becoming clearer and clearer that the divide in our country is not bridgeable, because these are two mutually exclusive ways of looking at the world. Mm-hmm. And so when people start to, like you said, I love the way you put it. It's it's an on-ramp. They begin to say, okay, well, this is what I've always believed, but why? Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that there were a lot of people 20 years ago or 25 years ago, whatever, having those kind of internal conversations and asking themselves, well, why do I believe that a person can change their gender? Why do I and to your point, do I believe in anything strongly enough that I would give my life for it? I mean, these are deep questions, and it makes sense to me that people are starting to examine the foundations of their belief systems, maybe now more than 10 years ago even.
And people who are bold encourage others. I was just talking to my friend John Stonestreet over there at the Colson Center just a few minutes ago, and he was saying, you remember that guy Jack Phillips? You guys know who Jack Phillips is, right? Mm-hmm. The guy that wouldn't bake the cake,
right?
That he was going to stand on
Colorado.
his Christian beliefs,
yeah.
Right? You're not going to force me to support something that God finds abhorrent. I'm not going to do it. You know how many Christians told him, "Oh, well, just bake the cake, be nice. Just bake the cake, be nice." If he had done that, you'd have never heard his name,
right?
Right. He didn't back down. He won the cases. And now people are encouraged by what he's done, and they're interested in Christianity more now because this guy put his whole livelihood on the line for his faith, just like Charlie did.
He's been fighting that battle for like a decade in the courts.
More than that.
Yeah. And they act like he's the only baker in Colorado.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
They try to set him up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
They try to set him up. For those who don't know, we're talking about Jack Phillips. He's the bakery owner in Denver area, and they two homosexual, was it lesbian or
no? It was two guys.
Two guys. They got 1,000 places they can get a cake decorated for their quote wedding, and they decided they were going to target this Christian. And if he didn't make it, they were going to sue him.
Right.
And that he went through that I'm just reminding people who maybe have not heard that story, but most people have. But he ultimately won at the Supreme Court under religious liberty and the religious freedom, First Amendment issues. So he stuck with his guns, as our friend Frank says right there, and ultimately won the case. All right, well, that's coming up. So Frank, if you want to join Frank this Saturday, he will be on the air with I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, right here on American Family Radio at 9 o'clock Central Time in the morning. And then that's what AM means, right? Still? I think so.
Absolutely.
And then Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Time on AFR. Well, Ray, Frank, we'll pray for you, brother, as you travel around the country, and Tuscaloosa is just 2 hours from us, so if you get a chance, come over and see us, okay?
You come over and see me, man. I'm coming all the way to Alabama.
Well,
and you can't drive 2 hours?
Okay, I walked right into that one.
Sure did.
Yeah,
Hey,
I would come over, but
enjoy your Saturday, Tim.
I think I got a little bit down in my back right now.
I'll come meet you, Frank. You'll know it's me when you hear my cowbell.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Tim.
Anyway,
The next time the phone doesn't ring, it's me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Frank. You take care, my friend. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, that's
See ya.
Frank Turek.
And folks, please pray for Frank.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Frank Turek. Frank is traveling the country. He was with, for those who don't know, Frank was with Charlie Kirk when he was assassinated, and was in the car that took him to the hospital.
And and started CPR on him too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was. That's why I mentioned
he
that
was a friend. They were friends.
Yes.
He was a mentor to Charlie early on.
That's why I mentioned to Frank. Don't want to get into too much of it because it's painful to talk about. But there was Ray. There was a life-altering day for Frank. For all of us who watched, but certainly for Frank, his close friend, watching his close friend die like that.
Yeah, young married man with young wife and 2 kids.
By the way, whatever happened to his assassin?
That story's almost disappeared, hasn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything.
Well, I'm sure he'll go on trial, or has he made a confession? Do we know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's no confession.
so.
I don't think.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
in
just
Utah,
going through the.
in Utah, you get the death penalty for
Oh, yeah?
for what he
And
did.
they said they will pursue it.
Yeah. We'll be back momentarily with more of today's issues on the American Family Radio Network.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
T.B. von Torvich once won a 5-day, all-expense-paid trip for two to Miami in a contest run by a restaurant chain. That's probably surprising for some of us, for we've never won a prize in any of those contests and don't personally know anyone who has. But nonetheless, the paper stated that T.B. von Torvich won that trip. The only problem, a spokesman for Tovorovich said, is that Tovorovich may not qualify. The contest rules were like most rules in other contests. The entrant must be between 21 and 65. And this is where the catch comes in. You see, TB's only 8 months old. To further complicate matters, it turns out that T.B. von Torvich is none other than T-Bone von Torvich, a St. Bernard puppy. Mrs. Michael Flaherty, who signed the puppy's name to the entry blank, was wondering what the sponsoring firm would do. We wonder whether they're going to let me and my husband go, said Ms. Flaherty, or whether they're going to have to find TB a mate. Well, I'm sure Miss Flaherty entered the contest for TB in good-humored fashion. She was just having a little fun, and that's okay, too, for life would be pretty dull if we didn't have a little fun along the way. But the sad part is that had Miss Flaherty taken the contest seriously and placed her name on the entry blank, there would have been no question about her and Mr. Flaherty taking the trip. There's a truth in this event which modern man needs to heed, for it reminds us that some things should be taken seriously if we expect to reap benefits from them. And in this age of gaiety and frivolous living, it's often difficult to remember that life has its serious side. Take the Galilean, for instance. There are those who take him and his way as something to make fun of, something to have sport about. Early people began responding to him in this manner. He was no more than hung on a cross till some men started shooting dice for his garments. And not many years afterward, the public had decided that making sport of him and his way was so much fun that they filled the arenas to watch his followers fight the lions. Methods of making sport of him have changed, but attitudes are much the same. Most television programs and movies present his way as childish, and his followers as rather dumb and foolish and even criminal. And then there are those who sit off and laugh at those who follow him. It's the same game that was played centuries ago, only it's played in new ways. It could be called Chide the Childish Christians. Maybe the experience of Mrs. Flaherty will serve to remind us that if we wish to enjoy the benefits of the game, we have to take the rules seriously. And if you make sport of him now, don't be surprised if you miss out on his gifts later on. You see, rules are made to follow, not make fun of.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
The Lord looks down from heaven on all mankind to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. Psalm 14:2.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back up. Pardon me. Welcome back up. What happened? I don't know what happened right there. I need to reset.
Yeah, I can tell you what happened. You were eating popcorn on the way in, and someone ran down the wrong pipe.
Yeah.
Duly noted.
I keep telling you to drop that habit.
I know.
I once heard.
You can't give it up.
The popcorn's so good, man.
It is, no lie.
Like, it's not even. Yeah. It's like no. It's not even a temptation of sin, really.
No, it's not. But it's the best popcorn I've ever had. I'm just going to tell you.
It is.
I've had movie popcorn, popcorn I've made myself.
You just catch it as it pops out with a bag here.
It's like right? Catching clouds of delight as it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh, I'm liking it.
Oh yeah, it is awesome.
It really is
awesome
amazing.
Popcorn, and we got our own popcorn machine that we bought.
Yeah,
here a couple years
after
ago.
we one of the local Presbyterian churches, we borrowed theirs and basically ran it into the ground.
Yeah, we had it for 10 years, I think, and we used it up and we gave it back to them.
The only time they came back to get it was around All Saints Day, Reformation Day, and they would come and borrow it, and it would be gone from our office for like 3 days. Mm-hmm. And you should have seen. You talk about people feeling entitled. I'd walk by and I go, "Where's the popcorn?" Oh,
they took their popcorn machine back.
Lawndale Presbyterian Church took their popcorn machine back.
Right, that's back when you could say Indian giver, but you can't.
You
can't say that anymore. You know that. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, you're not saying.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying that's when you could say it
because we can't say it.
Because we can't say it.
We can't say it. That's right.
But okay.
So what? We got a new machine? Is that?
Yeah,
what
we bought our own.
Yeah. I came in the day that the previous machine had gone kaput, and I walked in and I saw 5 very solemn-looking people standing there around the machine, and I was like, what happened?
The popcorn machine died. That's what happened. We're having a service. Show some respect.
Machine died.
All right, you're listening to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Ed, Chris, and Ray. All right, what do you got, Chris?
Well, Vice President J.D. Vance has just wrapped up remarks. He is in Israel, where the Trump administration has dispatched the vice president to...
They dispatched him?
They did. They sent him there to oversee the peace deal or ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Depending on the news outlet that you follow, you'll get different interpretations of what Vice President J.D. Vance had to say today. For example, MSNBC says... Vance says, if Hamas doesn't comply with deal, very bad things will happen. CNN, I feel confidence the peace will last. Vance, very optimistic about peace deal on Fox News. Here is some audio that our Steve Jordahl cut for us while we were talking to Frank Turek.
The Israeli government has been remarkably helpful in this. I want to thank them, thank our Israeli partners, and all the folks particularly who are working hand in hand with their American friends here at the CMCC. And number two, I want to say that there is this weird attitude I've sensed in the American media and the Western media where there's almost this desire to root for failure, that every time something bad happens, that every time that there's an act of violence, there's this inclination to say, oh, this is the end of the ceasefire, this is the end of the peace plan. It's not the end. It is, in fact, exactly how this is going to have to happen when you have people who hate each other, who have been fighting against each other for a very long time. We are doing very well. We are in a very good place. We're going to have to keep working on it.
Well, I mean, I think it's okay for people to be cynical about it. The Middle East has earned that reputation, and but at the same time, the vice president's right. You got to give this time to play out. I'm looking now because all the 4 news outlets that we have in studio. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, and BBC. They're all talking about Vice President's visit. But I'm looking at pictures of, I guess this is Gaza City, but my goodness, it is just, like you said, Tim, it's just rubble. I mean, there is, I don't know how, there's just nowhere for those people to live. It's really stunning how this war has torn that place apart. But Ray, I'm good with people being cynical and giving the peace plan a chance. I mean, it's better than war. So let's give peace a chance.
Okay, I'm going to say not cynical, just skeptical.
Yeah,
they've been fighting over there since the days of Ishmael and Isaac.
Yeah.
4,000 years. The depth of ancient hostility, I mean, Ed, it goes back centuries and centuries. I like President Trump, go on the record, happy to say that. Wish him all the best, okay? Yeah. Wish him all the best and hope this peace and treaty holds. But you got at least ask yourself, do you trust Hamas? No.
Right.
Hezbollah? No. Palestinian Authority? No. Our friends in Qatar, that's a hard sentence to say. Our friends in Qatar, do we really trust them? The Muslim Brotherhood, there's a lot of bad actors.
ISIS, the Taliban.
I mean, that's right. There's a lot of bad actors over there, right? Who want to see this thing fail. So I hope, and plus you've got Prime Minister Netanyahu. He's not going to take anything.
Right.
If they attack, he's going to hit them right back. Sort of you send one of ours to the hospital, we're going to send one of yours to the morgue. The Chicago rules, so to speak.
That's right.
So I think it's perfectly good for Christians to say we pray for the peace of Jerusalem. We're commanded to pray for peace in Jerusalem and the peace in the Middle East. We wish the president all the best. We're just skeptical, but right, Ed? We'll wait and see. Maybe this time there'll be lasting peace.
Like I said last week, I'll take 5 years of peace.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
5 years is an eternity. That's an eternity of peace in the Middle East.
That's better than 5 years of people dying. So
that's exactly right.
Even if it's not permanent, we all know, biblically speaking, it can't be permanent. But 5 years, 10 years, who wouldn't take that?
Sure,
I would.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens there. How about that?
All right.
Sounds good to me.
We'll see what happens there in Israel, in the Middle East.
We hope it works out.
Yep.
I didn't understand President Trump giving that executive order to protect Carter, though.
Yes.
You see that?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Somebody sent it around this morning.
me.
Maybe it was Chris. You sent it?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up here.
Yeah. So Ray, I don't know if you got that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked it over.
I'm going to tell people what it is first.
Yeah, I got
Go ahead,
it right
Chris.
Chris,
All right.
over to you, Chris.
Yes. So back in September, President Trump signed an executive order on September 29th, 2025, saying that the U.S. and the state of Qatar have been bound together by close cooperation, shared interest, and the close relationship between our armed forces. In this executive order, President Trump said the United States shall regard any armed attack on the territory, sovereignty, or critical infrastructure of the state of Qatar as a threat to the peace and security of the United States. In the event of such an attack, the U.S. shall take all lawful and appropriate measures, including diplomatic, economic, and, if necessary, military, to defend the interests of the United States and of the state of Qatar and to restore peace and stability. The reason we're talking about this is because this executive order came at a time in which Israel and Qatar were going back and forth militarily, diplomatically, over issues involving things like Hamas. So it looked as though President Trump was saying, we will defend Qatar if places like even Israel were to attack them.
That's what he says. That executive order is ridiculous and should never been signed by President Trump, and I don't know what he was thinking right there, basically giving Qatar, who's been, that's what I call him, who's been housing Hamas.
Yeah.
Right.
Giving them NATO-type protection. And when they're the chief enemy, not chief enemy, when Israel had to bomb, they did. They bombed into Qatar one time because they were trying to take out these Hamas leaders that they knew where they were. But I don't know what Trump's thinking on that one. That's just nutty.
Well,
right
and
there.
President Trump, I don't know, I want to say made, but encouraged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin.
Had Biden done this, we would be screaming from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
President Trump kind of compelled Benjamin Netanyahu to apologize to Qatar for bombing Hamas.
I was surprised that Israel did that in a way, because that is amping it up a little bit, when you attack a sovereign nation. But
it is amping it up.
But we did too. We went into Iran and bombed their nuclear facilities. So I mean, it happens. And
we're blowing.
Well, Ray, what do you think about Trump signing an executive order giving Qatar all this protection?
The only way I can think of it is Mr. Trump. Maybe his greatest diplomatic skill. He's a deal maker, right? The art of the deal. He's good at that. I mean, legitimately good at that. And so he figured to make the deal come together, but Gaza, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, you got a lot of players there, right? Yeah, and the U.S. and the UAE, Saudi Arabia, he had to provide some kind of guarantees to Qatar. The rest of us look at it and I shake my head. I'm with you, Tim. I don't see the benefit of this at all. But I suppose the president thought.
Well, you got to have principles somewhere. I understand President Trump's a deal maker and the art of the deal, and he calls everything a deal. He's talking about Ukraine. That's how he's.
It's all a deal.
He views it. He views international relations, and I'm not being totally critical of him by any means.
Right.
But he views international relations like he's talking about Ukraine and Russia. He's talking about we're trying to make a deal. That's what he said yesterday. Yeah. So it's that word, he's dealing back and forth, trying to get both sides to agree to something so that a deal is struck, so to speak.
Well, I mean, you could certainly see this happening, this scenario where Trump is trying to get Qatar to control Hamas leaders and to encourage them to sign on to this deal. And Qatar says, well, why should we? Israel just attacked Doha and killed these. And then Trump says,
that's very believable.
And then Trump says to Qatar, okay, let me handle it. And he goes to Benjamin Netanyahu, hey, we're going to have a deal here. You got to promise not to attack Qatar again. And I'm going to give them a guarantee that no one's going to do that. We're on their side as well as your side. I can absolutely see all that happening behind the scenes. Yeah, because That's
and
how
it
you get
doesn't
the
make
deal done.
sense to the rest of us at all.
Okay,
Exactly what
I don't agree with it on principle.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with doing that on principle because I think you can do things that that shouldn't be done. You shouldn't be saying to Qatar, "We're going to give you military protection against Israel." You should not do that.
No, you're absolutely right, because you say you're going to do that, and what happens if Israel says, "I'm sorry, President Trump, we're going to have to hit them," and then what is now President Trump's in a corner.
Yeah,
he's now what's he going to do? He's going to give Patriot missile systems to Qatar?
I know. I mean, some things you don't do for principle purposes, and Trump has, So I don't know what. But that was what we quoted there was a real executive order.
I posted it on our Facebook page too, so people.
Yeah, we're not making this up.
The only thing I can think of, and this is just a guess, is that the Trump administration was trying to do something to bring Qatar.
Which is it? Is it Qatar, or Qatar?
It's however you feel,
both.
sir. Now the people from there are called Qataris, so based on that, I say Qatar or. Like a variation of the word. But anyway, the only thing that I can think of is that this was an effort by Trump to bring them to the table and really get all the other pieces to start to fall in place for this peace deal in the Middle East. Because remember, he went to Egypt after he went to Israel and had a bunch of Arab countries there sign off on all this too. So that's the only thing I can think of. It's hard to get into the mind of Donald Trump, as we have discussed in this program.
You're on your own right there, Chris. We're not going to comment.
And I do want to let our listeners know, some of our listeners think any criticism of President Trump is...
You're going against God's anointed.
Disloyal and unpatriotic.
And listen, our loyalties to the truth and our loyalties to the Bible, I love 95% of what President Trump is doing and has done. Amen. I hope he succeeds with peace in the Middle East, even if it lasts 5 or 10 years, like the deal was made between Israel and Egypt way back, the Camp David Accords.
Okay.
So, but I want our listeners to know we approach this as journalists who are Christians, and so we have to speak when we think something is the wrong move, because we're not lemmings. We're not going over a cliff for anyone.
Nobody.
Are you a lemming, Tim?
I'm not a lemming.
Chris?
I like them fried.
Ray?
No.
Tastes like
fried
chicken.
Lemming, deep fried. Had them in
fried lemmings.
Texas State Fair once. The deep fried lemmings. It was great.
Put a little hot sauce on it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Ed puts hot sauce on everything.
I do. I really do.
Popcorn, donuts. It doesn't matter.
Really? Well, not
like do you have a particular brand?
Donuts.
Not popcorn.
No, he's a hot sauce. We all know hot sauce people in our lives, and Ed's the one I know. Because he's 2 offices down from me, and I know what he's eating.
When I have eggs, I put hot sauce on Louisiana hot sauce, and Tim says I can smell that all the way down the hall.
That's right.
I don't want to judge you, but eggs and hot sauce, I don't know about that.
I like it on a hamburger.
At least it's not ketchup.
I think that's ketchup.
Eggs.
My dad
was wrong. That's wrong.
That was one of the things. Yeah, my dad would tell people straight up. He wouldn't interfere with people's business too much, but if they put ketchup on eggs,
it's gone too far. You've gone too far.
That's what I'm talking, Ray. He drew the line right there.
So we're all in agreement. I bet you could get Israel and Hamas to agree on that.
No ketchup on eggs.
You got to have some.
We're going to start right there.
Speaking of eggs, can I share an observation that I came across recently? And I already told this to Ray, but I was reading my Bible, and I happened to be in Job chapter 6 recently. And you know how sometimes you read things and you come across stuff and you're like, huh. But anyway,
that's what Ray was talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Early on in the story of Job, he says, "Can that which is unsavory been eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg?" So thousands of years ago, Job was completely against low-sodium cholesterol-free diet.
And if he had had a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce, it might have made him might have made his life a little bit easier.
Blessed be the name of the Lord.
You know what?
As he's sprinkling it on.
If his friends would have been real friends, they'd have brought him some Louisiana hot sauce.
Brought him.
Am I right?
We all agree.
Yeah, terrible friends, miserable comforters.
Right. We need to reel this back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm reeling back in.
Reel it.
All right, you're listening to Today's Issues.
Yes.
That's the name of this show on the American Family Radio Network, Today's Issues. Tim, I'm Tim with Ed and with Chris and with Ray. Ray's in Kansas City. We're in Tupelo, and we Thank you for listening wherever you may be. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, keeping it with Israel or Israel-related matters for just a moment. We're about 2 weeks away from the New York City mayoral election, and one of the people in the news today that's warning about Zohran Mamdani, who appears to be
you got to admit that's a great name, though, for like a superhero or something like that.
It is.
Yes.
Just the Zohran.
Or an evil villain.
Well,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, somebody that might think he's more of an evil villain.
I'm sorry, but go ahead. You were good.
Way to reel things in, Tim.
Sorry.
Someone who may think he's more of an evil villain is New York City Rabbi Elliot Cosgrove. He told Fox that Mamdani is dangerous. Clip 8.
I believe Zohran Mamdani poses a danger to the security of the New York Jewish community. Mamdani's refusal to condemn insightful slogans like globalize the Intifada, his denial of Israel's legitimacy as a Jewish state, his call to arrest Israel's prime minister should he enter New York, and his thrice repeated accusation of genocide in Thursday's debate, for these and so many other statements, past, present, and unrepentant, he is a danger to the Jewish body politic of New York City.
I'm going to put him down as a no for Mamdani.
That's right.
Well, he was.
Who was that we were hearing?
Rabbi Elliot Cosgrave.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I to say yes to what we just heard. Mamdani was just the last couple of days been criticized for a photo op where he was smiling, arm around the shoulder of an imam. I think this is a guy in New York, or he is just visiting. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this man's name, but he is pretty much assumed to be an extremist, calling for genocide. But if you're a Jew living in New York City and you are seeing Mamdani as a danger to the Jews in New York City, you've got to be wondering if that accusation is enough to influence this election. And I don't think it is, because I think the anti-Semitic rhetoric and feelings in big cities like New York have grown to the point, Ray, I'll pitch it to you, have grown to the point where people, when you say, well, this mayoral candidate's anti-Semitic, they go, good, I'm anti-Semitic too. And if I was a Jew living in New York City, these would be scary times.
Well, we've talked before about how the landscape has changed since October the 7th, 2023. Anti-Semitism, which, Ed, has been with us for thousands of years, it's become acceptable. It's become fashionable. It's become a badge of honor in certain circles. And so, in the big cities, places like New York City, suddenly you can be anti-Semitic and you can be elected to high office.
Yep.
It will be catastrophic if this. How do you pronounce his last name? Mamdani?
Mamdani.
Mm-hmm. Mamdani. It will be catastrophic for New York and thus for America if he becomes the mayor. I think this is an odd thing to say, I think the only way it doesn't happen, and this might not stop it, is if the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, if he drops out, and then it becomes Mamdani versus Cuomo.
Yes.
And oddly enough, Cuomo becomes the quote conservative candidate in this election.
Yeah.
What a world we're living in.
It is strange. And not only is Mamdani apparently, allegedly, I want to be careful, anti-Semitic, but he's a communist who's going to bankrupt the city.
Right.
And so you choose your poison here. Mm-hmm. This guy is going to be a disaster for that city. But as Tim always says, we got great popcorn here. We're just going to pop some and just watch it unfold.
Right.
Because it'll be a lesson to the rest of the country. I hope the rest of the country's paying attention.
Now, who you have voting in this New York City election is New York City. It's proper, okay, not the greater metropolitan New York area, which would include Long Island and New Jersey and all of that. So but there's a lot of Jews that live there.
Yeah.
I'm talking Brooklyn and the Bronx, and I know Brooklyn's a heavy Jewish population. somebody once said there's the only place in the world. I mean, the second most Jewish populated place in the world besides Israel is New York City. And they. So I mean, they hold a very prominent place and a very prominent vote. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying, it's amazing to me even the idea of somebody as seemingly anti-Semitic. By the way, he's a big defund the police guy too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this guy's far left. Okay, far left. That's why Cuomo seems like a conservative,
right?
Because he's a rational Democrat compared to Zoran Mandami. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. When is that election?
It's like 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens there. Next story, Chris. We got about 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Let's play a little bit of this because it factors into Jews in New York City and other places. There was a recent poll that Washington Post did a story on, and they say about 4 in 10 Jews in the U.S. say they now hide their Jewish identity because of anti-Semitism. A couple of Jewish ladies, American ladies, told Fox that Jews in the U.S. have nothing to be afraid of, except for maybe if they live in blue states. Clip 12.
I think it's a little ridiculous that people are asserting that they don't feel safe in America. This has always been such a beacon of safety and prosperity for American Jews. I think that they're projecting a little bit. My sons wear yarmulkes. My husband wears a yarmulke every single day. We don't take them off almost ever, except for in the middle of Antifa protests at Georgetown here in Washington. But I don't understand, outside of Brooklyn where people are getting assaulted, why people feel that unsafe here.
The truth is that Donald Trump is the most pro-Jewish president we've ever had. And I think if you're feeling unsafe in America, which is, again, like Bethany said, always a beacon of safety and security for Jews, Donald Trump has been just nonstop about protecting Jews, both in America and in Israel. The most popular news program.
Those two ladies were Bethany Mandel and Carol Markowitz from a recent segment on Fox.
Well, if you were a Jew living in the United States, especially in blue states, in blue cities, and on college and university campuses, you've got to be nervous because you just never know when this thing tips over the edge.
Sure.
And I don't like what's probably about to happen to New York City, but sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and it seems like New Yorkers are going to have to go down that road.
All right, we'll be back momentarily. Chris, thank you.
Thank you
for your contributions to this show this hour. Steve Paisley Jordahl is on the way in 5 minutes. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
As a federal or state employee, you have the opportunity to support the American Family Association through the combined federal campaign. By designating a monthly payroll deduction using 12037, you help AFA continue to fight for your family. So when you complete your CFC form, remember, AFA's number is 12037. And thank you for your help.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel, where he said the ceasefire deal is not over.
The Israeli government has been remarkably helpful in this. I want to thank them, thank our Israeli partners, and all the folks particularly who are working hand in hand with their American friends here at the CMCC. And number two, I want to say that there is this weird attitude I've sensed in the American media and the Western media where there's almost this desire to root for failure, that every time something bad happens, that every time that there's an act of violence, there's this inclination to say, oh, this is the end of the ceasefire. This is the end of the peace plan. It's not the end. It is, in fact, exactly how this is going to have to happen when you have people who hate each other, who have been fighting against each other for a very long time. We are doing very well. We are in a very good place. We're going to have to keep working on it.
A potentially deadly shooting was prevented at an airport in Atlanta. Madison Scarpino reporting from Atlanta.
Police say that the suspect was streaming on social media, making threats, saying he was on his way to go shoot up the Atlanta airport, and he was also armed with an assault rifle. Well, the family then notified police, who were then on the lookout for this man, and thankfully they grabbed him before anything could happen. So police detaining 49-year-old Billy Cagle, who they say is a convicted felon with mental health problems. Police did not know that the suspect was already at the airport by the time the family alerted them of his threats. Police say he was particularly interested in the TSA security line and was hanging around there before police recognize and detain him.
A false alarm on an American Airlines flight after the pilots thought someone was trying to break into the cockpit.
The flight had just departed from Omaha for L.A. when the pilots heard static on the intercom they used to communicate with flight attendants. Fearing that it was an indication that they were under duress, they returned to Omaha. It wasn't until after they landed that it was determined the intercom system was faulty and it was flight attendants, not hijackers, knocking on the cockpit door. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
The state of Florida has issued criminal subpoenas to the online children's gaming company Roblox.
Attorney General James Othmeyer made the announcement on X, adding Roblox profited off kids while exposing them to the most dangerous of harms. As a result, Othmeyer said Roblox enabled children to be abused.
Companies like Roblox have become breeding grounds for predators to get to and have access to our kids. These criminal subpoenas will enable us to gather more information for our prosecutors about the criminal activity taking place on Roblox platform, as well as evidence on the predators that are out there and the victims that are abused.
Othmeyer is not the only one concerned. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation has shared similar thoughts to AFN about Roblox. The same goes for Enough is Enough. Othmeyer said opponents are not going away.
At the end of the day, we will stop at nothing to fight to protect our kids, and companies that act carelessly and expose them to harm will be held accountable.
AFN reached out to Roblox for comment and was told that Roblox shares Attorney General Othmeyer's commitment to keeping kids safe and will continue to assist his office in its investigations. A spokesperson for Roblox told AFN the company has a strong record of working with law enforcement and investing in advanced safety systems to help protect users and remove bad actors. I'm Chris Woodward.
The price of silver is soaring to record highs. Lydia Hu explains from a silver mint in Dallas, Texas.
They make so many silver products here, but in particular, they're making investment-grade silver bars. It's an incredible process that we're witnessing here, and the demand for these types of bars is just skyrocketing this year because the prices year-to-date have really taken off. Silver up 76% year-to-date as of the close yesterday. Gold also up 65% as of yesterday as well. Why the run-up in these precious metal prices? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Concerns about the global economy, concerns about the value of the dollar, and there might be a little bit of FOMO too. People say they're still buying even at these high prices, and believe it or not, Bank of America analysts say there's still room to run, although we might see some volatility in the near future.
And the U.S. stock market is drifting near its record highs today. More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Ed, and Ray, we thank you for that co-host here. And now we're joined by Steve Paisley, Jordahl. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
What's on your mind, Steve, right now?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
Well, we got a World Series coming up. I'm kind of excited about that.
Hey, I watched the end of the game last night between the Toronto Blue Jays, Canada's team.
Yeah.
and the
Seattle
Mariners. And that was, if you want drama, wait till you get to the seventh game of in this case, a pennant.
And the seventh inning of the seventh game.
Yeah. I mean, it was a seventh inning of the seventh game in to decide who goes to the World Series against the Dodgers.
It'll be the first time these two teams have ever met in the World Series.
Toronto and the Dodgers?
Toronto and the Dodgers. Dodgers are defending champions. Toronto hasn't been there since 1993.
Talk about a drought. That's 32 years.
Yeah, well, it's not like the Cubbies exactly, but
did they beat the Braves that year, or the Braves beat them? The Atlanta Braves. That was. You remember that, Ray? That was in the Braves were in their heyday with
right. Blue Jays won in '92 versus the Braves, and in '93 versus the Phillies.
Oh, they won 2 World Series.
What I'm reading.
Okay, I remember the Braves had Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, and Greg Maddux.
What a lineup!
Oh my goodness!
And they won their division and went to the World. They won World Series. Many think that was the most underachieving team in history because they should have won 3 or 4 World Series at least. Given that trio of pitchers.
Oh my goodness!
I heard something that just made me amazed how smart some of these guys are. Glavine, his catcher was talking, right?
Tom Glavine.
Tom
Glavine, the pitcher. Yeah.
His catcher, maybe it was Schmaltz. It's one of the 3.
John Schmaltz.
One of the 3 pitchers, and the catcher was talking, and they had decided before the game never to throw a pitch to a certain batter on the inside. Never do it because that's death for a pitcher. So they were pitching him outside until one at bat. And Schmaltz, I think it was, told the catcher inside. And he shook him off. No, he just insisted inside, so the catcher said okay. And the guy hit a home run off of him. And after the game, the catcher's going, what in the world? We said we weren't going to do that. He said, they have a good team. We're going to meet them in the playoffs. And he'll remember that pitch. And I'm going to get him out on it. And he did.
Oh, he's thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. And he...
That's how I do. It's kind of, you have to view life that way. I always be thinking one step ahead.
You wrote a paper on it, I think.
That's right. It was a great article. I quoted you, but I didn't give you credit.
It's kind of like that's where John Smoltz probably got his idea.
Sure it was.
To say that. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues. Anyway, the World Series will...
When's it start?
It starts on October 24th and 25th. I love the way that the MLB put an article up that says that the first 2 games will begin at Rogers Center on October 24th and 25th, respectively. As if it wasn't going to be one after the other order. I don't know.
The World Series used to be over in October.
Well, this is going to go. This could go
into November. Am I right?
The Game 7 will be on November 1 if necessary.
Okay.
All right.
Well. Don't you remember Ray, you remember Reggie Jackson was called Mr. October?
Right. In that one game, hit 3 home runs. I mean, unbelievable. Now, the Dodgers are going to be, I'm not enough of a fan to know, so I'm just asking curiosity. Dodgers are going to be pretty heavy favorites in this series. Is that right?
I would hate to bet against or to root against a team with Shohei Ohtani on it.
Oh,
that guy's something else.
The Los Angeles Dodgers will be favored. They swept the Milwaukee Brewers. They are defending world champions, and they are loaded. Okay, and why, you ask? Because they have the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they bought the most good players, and so they're highly favored. I'm torn right here. Of course, I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
You're National League.
Yeah, I grew up listening to the Cardinals on AM radio, transistor radio. I go back to, I'm a baby boomer, go back to the transistor radio days. So I grew up listening to the St. Louis Cardinals on radio, and so that's how I've developed a lifelong following of that franchise, but haven't followed them so much the last 10 years. There's only so much stuff you can put in your head.
Yeah, and only so many hours in the day. You got grandkids.
Right, grandkids, and I follow college sports, so my brain was 10 years ago was going tilt.
Yeah.
Tilt. You can't. You can no longer spend time keeping up with the Cardinals like you used to could. But anyway, I love baseball, Major League Baseball. But the Dodgers, are like one of the blue bloods of professional sports. Quite frankly. Okay, I know what I was going to say. I diverted. I'm torn because I'm an American, so I would like an American team to win the World Series. But on the other hand, I'm pulling for the underdog because Toronto is probably halfway down the list of money in the major leagues, and here they are competing with the big boys, so to speak. So they're kind of the underdog. So I'm kind of torn on that one, but go ahead.
I was just going to say,
what does the Bible have to say about this? Ed, do you know what the Bible says about this?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to look to see what the Bible has to say about watching too much sports. No, I'm probably going to root for the Blue Jays because I'm basically an American League fan because I'm a Red Sox fan. So I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah. You grew up a Red Sox fan.
So I generally root for the American League, but they're also underdogs. I like an underdog.
Underdog story, yeah.
The Bible only mentions baseball once.
Yeah, is that right?
Genesis 1:1 in the big inning.
In the big inning.
In the big
Ray,
inning.
come on.
You not heard that one, Ray?
It's great.
That's
I love
recycled.
it.
That's recycled.
Oldie but a goodie.
Yep, in the big inning. I do know that what's Freeman's first name? The first baseman for the Dodgers. I've heard his testimony. He's a Christian. He used to play for the Braves. He's Freeman's his last name. I'm sorry, I can't remember his first name.
That's what you're talking about, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. He is a strong believer. Yeah. And Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
On the first ballot. He's a left-handed pitcher for the Dodgers. The best left-handed pitcher in the history of baseball.
Randy Johnson?
Well, he'd be right there with him. Kershaw is his last name. Strong believer. In fact, this year when they had Gay Pride Day at
they were all supposed to wear rainbow hats
at the Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
he wore a rainbow and said something to the effect, "This is God. God had the idea first." Something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said. What he's saying was, I'm not going to use the rainbow to celebrate LGBTQ because it's God's rainbow, and that's what. So it makes me pull for him even more. You know,
we've been hearing athletes say, "I want to give God the glory," and then they go on to talk about the game. For a long time, we've been hearing that, but of late, I seem to be hearing in college and some in the pros of more explicit testimonies. I heard one of the college players say that he was going to glorify God no matter if they win or they lose. Yeah,
Vanderbilt quarterback.
I don't know if we played it or not in here.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh?
Pavi?
How do you pronounce his?
Pavi. I don't remember his first name.
Diego
Pavi.
Yeah, he's
That's
some
it.
kind
That,
of.
you talk about a superhero name.
Yeah, right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And he was the one that he said he wanted to chase God.
Yes, that's what he said. I wanted to chase God because
everybody should chase God.
He said he had some losses, and he said, I just felt like God was saying, you've got the cart before the horse, and you need to chase God instead of chasing wins. And now he's got his life in the right direction, and now he's getting some wins.
Yeah.
Is that the way it works?
It worked that way for him.
I'm saying,
well,
that's what he said.
He beat LSU on Saturday, so that means something.
So the evidence is there.
Yeah, there it is. There's the proof right there, friend.
God will help you win if you do a few things.
God will take your side.
What does God do with a Christian player on the LSU team, though?
I guess he's not chasing God hard enough.
Work on your defense.
That's right.
Yes.
It just is a completely
Brian Kelly,
works-oriented.
Brian Kelly, the coach of LSU, is wondering where is God right now.
I know.
He's back at Notre Dame where you left.
Back at Notre Dame.
I just put that one on a tee for you, didn't I? Oh, my goodness gracious. I'll say real quickly, Kershaw, the pitcher I was talking about for the Dodgers, by the way, is he hurt or is he pitching right now? I haven't seen him.
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't been following.
Clayton Kershaw is his name, a devout Christian. If you look up on Wikipedia, what happened was they had 2025 Pride Night in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium. But Kershaw, it says, this is Wikipedia, quote, sparked further controversy by writing the Bible verse Genesis 9:12-16 on his pride-themed Dodgers hat. A passage that describes the rainbow as a covenant sign from God, not a symbol of the LGBTQ community. That's
bold.
To do that, and especially to do that in Los Angeles, is bold.
And if he hadn't been Clayton Kershaw, if he had been some
Right.
rookie,
He'd have been kicked off the
He
team.
might have been sent down.
Right.
Or fined or something.
Yeah.
But Kershaw, as I say, to see if he's going to pitch in the World Series, Steve, if you don't, or
I'll look it up.
Ed do it, and Steve can move on to. But anyway, I do know there are two strong believers on, maybe more, on Los Angeles, but I don't know about.
The
don't know
Dodgers
much
themselves
about
were taken to
Toronto.
task this last week for sponsoring an award show by a gay rights group that honored Will, the transgender swimmer that swam against Riley.
Thomas?
Will Thomas.
Leah. Yeah.
Leah.
Leah.
Will, who says he's Leah.
Right. They honored, this gay group honored him, and the Dodgers were title sponsors of that
I remember hearing about that.
game. So they're still in the.
Is Kershaw pitching in the World Series? Or you don't know.
He says he has not yet confirmed whether he will be healthy enough to participate in the World Series, as he is still recovering from a bone spur in his big toe that sidelined him for the postseason.
Now, if Clemens can pitch with a bloody ankle, don't you think that Kershaw?
That wasn't Roger Clemens.
Yeah, be careful, Steve.
Who was it?
It was
you just committed baseball blasphemy.
The
Boston Red Sox.
It was good grief.
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
Thank you. Sorry.
Good night.
But I
You
mean,
wanna
if
take
Kurt,
that back?
I do. I take it. I recant.
Okay.
If Kurt Schilling can pitch with a
Bloody sock.
That was heroic. You know, I know this is not a sports show, folks. So those of you who are, I'll just say this one thing, but I've looked for a photo of him on the mound with that bloody sock because it's so heroic. I want to make it like my computer
Ringtone?
screen wallpaper every once in a while.
Yeah.
Throw that into the rotation because it was just.
Yeah, it was iconic.
It was.
No doubt about
Remind
it.
you
Kurt
when you
Schilling.
get a hang
And
nail,
the
you
fact
still
that
need to type.
Red Sox had not won anything ever
Yeah.
as far as World Series go. And here this guy is giving it everything, including a bloody sock, just to be able to win. All right, you're listening to today's issues. What's your first story without
a sports
without
record.
us trying to decide who about
you,
the
you guys
sports
remember
and-
earlier this year when they had a bunch of UFOs? They thought they didn't know what they were flying over New Jersey, and people were freaking out.
Yes, we
because-
talked about it here.
Yeah, no one knew what they were, and they seemed to disappear, and it was like
people freaking out,
totally freaking out. We later found out the government said all they said was it's not a UFO, but they didn't elaborate. Well, we found out now there was a conference at Fort Rucker in August, and apparently there was a private company that was contracted to do some work with drones. And they didn't name the company in this article. They didn't make public who they were, but they said that they had an unconventional appearance, these drones did, so that when they turned sideways, they seemed to disappear.
Yeah.
But they were taking credit for...
You remember this, Ray? It was drones every night up in New Jersey.
Really? Well, look, if I'd been living in New Jersey, I'd be freaking out too to see this stuff flying, disappearing. What's going on?
And I did note that this company didn't try this in the South.
Right.
Right.
Now you're joking, but that they probably had that in mind. Well, New Jersey, the number of people who are given the right, quote unquote, to own a gun, but you do that down here with Bubba. Bubba and his best friend Bubba.
That's right.
And
The two
you're
Bubbas.
gonna have
lose some drones right there.
That's right.
And were these not manned? These
No,
were
unmanned.
Oh, they're unmanned.
They were unmanned.
All right.
Yeah. So
because that would be bad. manned drones.
I don't think they're called drones if they're manned. They're called helicopters.
Well, I thought this company had
there you
manned
go.
drones. I thought this company had them, but anyway.
So what? But we got a meteor out there running around our solar system that's we don't know what's going on. Am I right?
31 Atlas are calling it, and
tell people what we're talking about who haven't been paying attention.
There is what most astronomers say is a comet that is entering our atmosphere. As comets do, they kind of come into the solar system. They usually slingshot around our sun and then move away. And
that was a great description.
Thank you.
Of a comet.
And but there's some question. There's one particular guy in particular. His name is Orbeth.
Macbeth.
Obeth. Oberth. Oberth.
He's from Harvard, right?
No. It's the Oberth. His Avi Loeb.
Yeah,
Avi
Loeb.
Loeb.
Loeb is the guy from Harvard.
Yeah. The Orbeth is the effect that get the slingshot thing. But yeah, he said that it might be a mothership, a UFO with little green men. And he said,
did you say little green men, or
you didn't say little green men? But that's the way I say
a mothership,
for extraterrestrial.
Come on, Ed.
Listen. You know I'm jumping in here. It is not an alien mothership. And really, the number of people who are believing this, the government has already said, I just like saying that, NASA has already said, I've read actual, a lot of other physicists said, yep, there is some unique signatures on this Atlas, 31 Atlas, but this is a comet. This is a meteor
regular
asteroid. It's regular,
run-of-your-mill garden variety.
It is, and but I'm telling you, there's something in the water in our country because on social media, there are people who are living in abject fear that we're about to be visited by aliens, conquered by aliens, what have you. And this is just another one of the things where people are just freaking out. People just need Jesus. They just need to have, a piece about the future. But people are lit up about this.
I don't understand why people are lit up about this particular one when we've literally had congressional hearings on UFOs that people are claiming, pilots in the Air Force are claiming are doing extraterrestrial things.
Yeah, but is this the Ray? Is this the rectangular comet?
Yeah,
it's
real long.
It's symmetric, isn't it?
Yeah, you mean this so-called?
This is so-called comet.
I share your suspicion.
It's
Ray.
hiding on the other side of the sun.
It's been behind the sun. Now you've heard of the dark side of the moon.
That's right.
Now you got.
It's going to come slingshotting out.
Well, this Avi Loeb says.
Who does?
This Harvard physicist.
Okay.
He said that would be a perfect opportunity for a mothership to release drones to come and check us out.
Yeah.
But to Steve's point, all these congressional hearings and stuff are adding to the paranoia on the part of people. We kind of have these periodically where you have these UFO flaps. And I remember them in the 60s and 70s. You'd have this cluster of sightings, and then people would start to worry about, is this the end of the world? It's War of the Worlds.
Then you got the interviews from the people out in the country.
Yes.
Remember those interviews?
Oh, yeah.
And every once in a while you get one that was
on a ship.
Yeah. And things were done to me.
things
I can't talk about.
Unspeakable things.
Unspeakable things were done to me.
I just want to ask them did they benefit you though? Was it help in your life?
Was
when
it
you got off the ship?
like a healthy you?
Yeah. Did it?
Are you a better person?
Are you a better person for going through?
How has
this
that
experience?
changed your life?
But you know what? I'm not getting into explanations because every time I go down that road, Tim mocks.
I don't mean to.
Oh, it's mockery. And I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm not falling into that trap.
I think we can all agree that E.T. was a great movie, though. Can we not?
It was.
I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Nothing blew up.
Okay.
There's no people.
But he got the phone home.
Yeah, he got the phone home. That's just just encourage kids to make friends with strange-looking beings that appear in their bedrooms.
Yeah,
that's what
Tell
I
them
didn't
that
like
the
it.
week before Halloween, right?
Yeah,
See,
that's right. So next
What
time,
was that other
the
sci-fi
devil
movie that
walks in.
that most of
Close,
us watched?
Close Encounters.
Yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right.
Richard Dreyfuss, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Richard
he
Dreyfuss
was the actor.
And didn't it have something to do with that iconic mountain out in Utah or something like that?
Devil's Mountain or something?
Anybody know what the first two kinds are?
Yeah,
yes.
What?
First kind is a
Encounters.
sighting.
Right.
And then the second kind is
like a Milky Way.
sighting up close, I think. Third kind is when you have a visitation or you cross paths with an alien.
Right.
Fourth kind is an abduction.
Right.
And then a fifth kind, I think, is the probe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew that was.
We're going to stop right there.
Something like that. I think
We're not getting into
I
the
got
probe.
those right.
That's right.
Probing question, though.
Again,
All right.
this so-called comet.
Yep. We'll see. So when is the comet supposed to fly out from behind the sun?
It's going to take a couple days.
It's in November
yeah.
sometime.
Okay. It's got a week or
and
so.
that's why they say that also you'll know because if it changes like velocity or trajectory, they'll know when it comes out from behind.
All right,
the sun
next
as well.
we got 3 minutes, Steve. What do you got?
All right, let's do that. I want to close the books, tie a bow around the No Kings protest, and have a listen to Baya Ungar Sargon.
Easy for you to say.
Now, we've already had a Zoran Mondami on
We
today.
have.
So now we're going with who?
Batya Ungar Sargon,
Oh,
who is a commentator, kind of an honest liberal commentator.
All right.
She was on CNN, and this is what she had to say about the No Kings protest.
These protests were overwhelmingly white. They were overwhelmingly elderly people, older people. Now, again, white boomers have the right to have a mass therapy session about the fact that Donald Trump won. But to call it a No Kings protest, to act like he is a king is so utterly preposterous. This is a man who won the popular vote. He won every swing state. He is a person who is enacting the exact agenda he promised he was going to enact while he was campaigning. And so what they are actually protesting is the absolute perfection of American democracy, where a person campaigned on an agenda, won the popular vote, and is now enacting that agenda. So it was actually a protest of democracy.
That's
Take
pretty
that,
outstanding.
Democrats.
She just bingoed.
Yes. I can live and get along with honest liberals. Okay? I don't even like hypocritical conservatives. Let's just tell it the way it is. It's the truth.
What was her name again?
Batya Ungar Sargon.
Yeah. How do you go home and tell your mom this is who you're taking out? Hey, who are you going to prom with, honey? Going to prom with
Batya Ungar Sargon.
Yeah,
Sargon.
all right.
Yeah.
Sargon the Second. How about that? That's a Syrian name.
All right,
I'm
we're
glad we got some real news after talking about baseball and aliens.
We're out of time, and it's probably a good thing. Okay, and we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Hey, my name is Wesley Wildmon.
And I'm Walker Wildmon.
And we're brothers, and our family have been leading tours to the land of the Bible for more than 30 years.